new set, new camera angle, Fishcracker Faith, let's go! What is up, guys? My name is Jerome, and welcome to Fishcracker Faith, Season 2. I've been back from a long break, and as you see, things have changed. Hi guys, it's Jerome from the future. Yes, a lot has changed, but this camera angle is not one of them. I noticed it a bit late when I was done shooting already, so I'm very sorry if it looks weird or awkward. Anyway, back to the video. But not much with our content. It's like I'm just back from vacation. Do you guys still remember what it feels like? Do you guys still remember packing your bags in a vacation? Every year, the youth ministry of my community always hosted a youth camp. I remember always cramming all of my clothes into 1 or 2 bags that would last me 4 days. I've been to 9 camps now. I think I've mastered the craft already. Our groceries as well, lockdown included, always got crammed into boxes, and we bring them home as a Save the Environment initiative. Balikbayan boxes from our OFWs also work in the same way, usually cramming a lot of stuff inside a single balikbayan box to maximize the stuff that's being brought home. Now, why do we do this? Well, we want things to fit. We want things to look tidy. We want things to fit in a box. Because let's face it, no one likes a messy box. Even the messy ones have an internal order. And when things are tidy, when things are fit, they're easy to control. You put things in a box and they fit nicely, you can lift that box and bring it somewhere else. Messy things, not so much. We like being tidy so much that our internal lives are also fitted into neat and tidy boxes. Even our faith. Even God. Can you guys imagine the God who created the heavens and the earth, the God who created the universe, the God who wills and continues to will us into existence, compartmentalized into a box in our lives, like all the other boxes of our lives? Sounds like blasphemy? It is. And it's nothing new. Way back, when the Israelites escaped Pharaoh and the Egyptians, they made their way to a holy mountain. And on this mountain, God descended to meet with them and to establish a covenant. And you know how God descended? God descended with a crashing thunder and an overwhelming cloud covering the whole mountain. This God, the God of their ancestors, parted the waters before them so that they could escape slavery. And that God is now before them, inviting them to be in relationship with Him. Now imagine you're an Israelite. What would be running through your mind at this moment, standing before the all-powerful God? Let me tell you what the Israelites did. Hindi sila nagpakita. Ginost na lang nila si Lord. They backed out in meeting God and asked Moses to go up in their place. I mean, talk about a missed opportunity here. But if natural physical calamities were our introduction to our God, I think we'll all be a bit scared too. But here's the tragedy. Moses stayed up there for a long time and the Israelites got a bit impatient. So they came up to Aaron and said, "Yo, can you make us a god to worship?" Moses is taking an awfully long time there. And then Aaron, the guy left in charge on the ground, to our dismay, agrees. So then Aaron makes this golden calf idol god, and the Israelites threw a wild party. Wink, wink. This party pissed God off so much that he thought of throwing away all of the promises that he gave to the Israelites, and that he just restart his plan with Moses and not them. That's a whole other conversation and a deep dive that is more nuanced than you think. But I digress. What's fascinating to me is what Aaron said when he finished making the idol and the Israelites were ready to throw a wild party. Wink, wink. So all the people took off all the rings of gold in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool and made a golden calf. And they said, "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow shall be a feast to the Lord." So the Israelites were ready to worship the calf as its own god. But Aaron corrected it by saying it's not a new god, but the God, the Lord, Yahweh. So Aaron must be thinking, this is probably the best damage control that I can do. But in doing so, Aaron reduced the immeasurable totality of God. He put God in a box. a lamb box. The lamb was intended to be a symbol of strength, but God is more than just his strength. In fact, the reason why he commanded them not to have idols created to represent him is because 1, he has no form, and 2, he cannot be reduced to a form we can comprehend. Because you can't put God in a box. You can try, but it won't work. Because here's the thing, when the Israelites worshipped the idol, they fell into their own lustful desires and threw a wild party. Wink, wink. They followed their desire instead of God's desire. Or probably how it was unfolding in their minds, they believed their desire was their God's desire. It was a form of worship for them. But who did they really follow? Themselves. Because when you put God in a box, he stops being God in your life. You become God of your life. And you just use God to justify your actions. Sure, it's not like the wild party, wink wink, but anything we do that puts God in a box is a similar offense. When your beliefs supersede God's mercy. When you put your family and work over God. When you only go to God on a Sunday. When you pray and ask God for help and stranglehold God by showing off all of the faithful things you've done for him. I could go on, and this video is long enough as it is. But these are just one of the many things we do that puts God in a box. You know what? Actually, I misspoke. When you put God in a box, it's not you who becomes God of your life. No. It's your desires. It's something other than you, and you choose to let that something make you a slave. We have a name for that. It's called idolatry. Because when you put God in a box, you put something other than God in the place that God is meant to be. And if there's anything other than God in that place, that's idolatry. And that's slavery. There's no freedom there. Let me bring it back to the box analogy. When we put God in a box, it's because we want to control God. But we can't control God. We can't force God's hand or coerce him. What he wills, he does. God won't fit in any box and still be God of our lives because we can't control God. Because God is bigger than any sort of box we try to shove him into. And if we do put him in a box, something else takes his place in our lives. And that's not a pretty picture. So let's let God be God and not a God in a box. I want to thank you guys for listening and watching this new episode of Fishcracker Faith. It's been months since I recorded an episode, so I'm just happy to share this with you. God bless. So then Aaron makes a golden calf idol god, and the Israelites threw a wild party. Wink, wink. Let's not wink.